So what do you do when you really don't know what to do? So you don't feel like you're defeated and that you are letting people down. Hi, it's Susan here, and welcome back to my channel. And for those of you that are regular subscribers, you'll know that I do a weekly reading, and every so often I do some other videos on all topics spiritual, healing, mediumship development, psychic development. Today I want to talk about this really important topic because it's relevant at the moment, and it's always relevant really. And it's about what to do when you really don't know what to do. And I'm going to break this down into 3 basic areas. So that feeling of what to do when you want to help a friend or a family member, someone that you really know is struggling. What to do when you don't know what to do when you want to help yourself and you're really struggling, and you kind of go, well, you know, am I giving up? Is this defeat? And also what to do when you just can't get that answer that you're looking for. Now, I'm predicating this video on the fact that because you're watching it, you are already somewhat awake, that you are a light worker, because light workers are those people that seek to increase their energetic field by bringing up the inner light, understanding it and using it and shining it brightly. So I know all of you that watch are those people. So let's start with what to do when you don't know what to do, when you want to help someone that is struggling. Now that could be your parents, family members, it could be a friend, it could be a child, and you can see exactly what they need to do. And yet they are either not listening to you, or they're not taking advice that you're giving them, or they're just not ready to receive what it is that you can give to them. And that's a terrible position to be in, because it's almost like you're watching somebody drown and you're kind of saying, but if they would just let me help them, then I know that they could get a different result. So that's a really interesting one for many reasons. One of them is that part of what's going on is you working through your need to help. And of course, because we're light workers and we're healers and we're people that care, we want to help. We want to be able to share the wisdom and the knowledge that we've gained. And I guess it's at these times we have to remember that the reason you've got the wisdom and the knowledge that you've got is because you've been through exactly what you've been through. And it's through the going through things, so it's through the experience of pain that people develop. It's through the experience of sadness and grief and loss and not knowing what to do that eventually people either stay in that cycle or they learn themselves what to do. The biggest thing I could say to you is if you've got someone that you are struggling with, how do I help them, is so a couple of things. One is to let go of giving them the advice. Let them know that you're there if they want it and that you are there to help them if they are ready. And if they're not, then they're not. They're just not ready. And it doesn't mean they will never be ready. It just means at this moment they're still stuck in that energy that they're in. And oftentimes that energy is something of a victim energy if they're not accepting help. And if you know anything about the victim, rescuer, persecutor triangle, then and if you don't know, then you can Google that. It's also in chapter 6 of my book, The Alchemy of Love. Which is available somewhere online. And I'm not saying it for that reason, but just, you know, it's something that I've found in healing comes into everybody's life at some point, is this drama triangle. It's a well-known psychological tool of understanding where we are in relationships. So sometimes in a power struggle, and the power struggle is, you know, we want to help, they don't want to be helped, right? So we don't know what to do. So it's to step off the triangle. It's just step away from trying to help. But then it's that alleviating that feeling within you where you go, oh my God, I feel guilty now because I know that I've got something that could help them. So knowing that you know that there's something that can help them, is knowing that eventually they may or may not be ready for it. And I believe you, me, we have to be ready for they may or may never be ready for it. And that's their journey, that's their thing. But things you can do. So what can you do when you don't know? Well, you can keep the vision of them working their way through whatever it is. So if we go into that negative energy that they're in, then we're perpetuating it. But if we step back and say, well, okay, even though you're not taking my help, knowledge, advice, guidance, I can imagine you with the problem solved, with the issue healed. I can just hold that vision for you, and I can keep believing in you and seeing you as someone that wants to receive that. And it's not really a manipulation of anything. It's just saying what you're tapping into is their higher possibility, their higher self. And if you can perpetuate that energy at every level, it will reach them. They may not be aware of it, by the way, and it may take time. So I'd say to you, do not give up. Maybe spend, 5 minutes a day just sitting or standing or washing up or doing something. But in your mind, really hold them in that vision of everything being as as is best for them. And just stepping away from it then, just that 5 minutes, and letting it go and letting yourself off the hook. Because another part of what's going on is I guess in a way, the belief or the desire in you to fix everything. And we all have that to a degree, especially if you are someone that cares about people. Simple as that. You don't have to be a parent or a child. If you're a good friend, you care about your friend and you really want to help them. So somebody can only be helped when they are open and ready to receive. And if somebody isn't open and ready to receive, there's nothing that you can do on the physical that will create that. So the things you can do, lead by example. So live your life the way that you are knowing how to. And that's about relieving yourself from angst. Because if you hold guilt, if you hold anger or resentment that they're not taking the help, then that's going to be projected and you're going to be in this constant tug of war energetically. So just let it go. Let it go. Know that you are doing something, and that is that holding that vision, sending them lots of love, lots of light, putting them in a beautiful cloud of energy when you think of them. Call the angels to them. And remember that from an angelic perspective, from a higher self and all of that, there is a law of free will, but we can ask for help. So we have free will and we can ignore the help that's around, or we can ask for it. Now, if we ask for help from the angels, they will come and they will surround your loved ones. Now, your loved ones may not fully be awake to that, but you may just sense those minute little shifts and you'll kind of go, oh, I know it's working, and it will take time. And of course, as I said, they have to be open, ready and willing. The other thing then is recognizing when you are in that position where you don't know what to do for yourself and you're stuck and you go, well, I really don't know what to do. And I always believe that there is a huge part of you that absolutely knows what to do. There's that inner voice, that inner self that says, well, this is the right thing for you. And yes, it may be hard. And I'm not really talking here about how to fix your flat tire on your bike or how to, it's more how do I manage this situation? How do I feel better? How do I heal from this? How do I end or mend this fractured relationship? All of those things are things that there is an inner knowing within you of what to do. So this brings me to the topic of surrender versus defeat. Because so often we use our logical mind and we kind of go, well, if I want this answer, then I need to do X, Y, Z. And you go in the logical, right? So you overthink it. You're always thinking, what am I supposed to do? And you do what you think you're supposed to do. And you're trying so hard. Something's not working, but you keep trying and you keep trying and you keep trying. And it kind of comes back to that saying, you know, if you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get the same result. But there's that little voice inside you that says, yes, but if I give up, then I might be that close to getting to my goal. So there comes a time when it's important to know that you've already done all you can do. And that speaks into being able to know within yourself, you know, that checking in with yourself. Well, you know, is there anything else I need to do? And yes or no. Is there any, you know, is there a different way of doing it? Yes or no. And even if you could train yourself in that yes and no, which is really, really easy to do, when you do that, you kind of stop going in the maze. I'm kind of seeing people stuck in a maze, and we stop doing that. And we say, well, okay, now I need to just stop and let things unfold. Know that you've got angelic helpers around you. Know that you've got your spirit guides, that you've got your own people in the spirit world, that you've got your higher self that is working to bring you all of the things that you want. Now, if the human you keeps on pressing ahead, pushing for a time frame, pushing against the flow, then potentially you stop what is being orchestrated in the background from coming to you. And this is one of the great dilemmas that we all have, because, and I do it, you know, I kind of go, well, maybe I should be doing more, you know, but I've learned over the years, and that's only through developing this really, really strong relationship with my sense of trust within myself. So trusting me, trusting my guidance, trusting my intuition, and kind of saying, well, you know, have I done enough? Yeah, okay, so maybe I just need to let it go now. And that's not being defeated. It's surrendering to the universal flow. And I do have to say at this point, as I want to address it, I hear so many people say, oh, universe will take care of that. And I kind of go, really? The universe will take care of things, but there has to be a certain amount of work that you do. You have to work in co-creation with the universe. And I believe that part of our skill set that probably we should be taught at school, and more of us are learning, is how to just know that we've done enough, and how to just be at peace then with getting on with something else that's more joyful or more life affirming, so that we can let the process happen and not get in the way of it. And that comes from really having that strong knowing inside you that what you want is there. So there has to be a level of belief, number one, that you can have what you want. Number two, that it can be yours in time and that you deserve it. So, you know, if you don't believe it can happen, and if you don't feel worthy, then you're going to keep on pushing and being in resistance until you work through those couple of things. So there are things to think about. You know, do you believe that things are possible for you? You know that they're possible because you see other people getting what they want. Do you believe that you're worthy to have the things that you want? And are you willing to get out of your own way? I'm laughing because, you know, like I'm a Leo, I'm pretty stubborn sometimes, and I often get in my own way. I used to. I tend not to get in my own way these days. So I believe then that when you can follow that and really step back, you'll have a sense of calm within you. Now that calm within you means that there's no inner conflict. And when there's inner conflict, it's like your logical brain is at war with your intuitive brain, your intuitive self. So the masculine, the doer, versus the feminine, creator, the flow, they're at war together. And when they're at war, you can't be in a space to trust or receive the messages, because the third part of this was what to do when you don't know what to do and you want to get an answer to something and you just can't get the answer. So a couple of things there that will help you are three things. One is make an intention when you meditate. So often people meditate I just want to meditate to be calm and be zen. That's great. It's really good. I think sometimes we underuse the power of meditation. And meditation is creating a space within you where you access the creator within you. And when you access the creative force within you, there can be answers gained. So if you go into a meditative state with one intention, and if you've got something that you need to solve, a puzzle about life at the moment, you want to get the answer, but you don't know what to do, then ask for the answer. Ask for, what do I need to be aware of? You know, and you can do it over several days. If it's a big thing in your life, for example, and you're struggling with it, then you could go in and ask it different ways on different days. Things like, you know, show me, or make me aware of how I'm blocking it. Make me aware of what I can do. Make me aware of what my skills are. Let me know what my challenges will be. Let me know what the best outcome is. So, and then, you know, it's about sitting in the best outcome always, being able to sit in it. That's the second thing you can do. If you want an answer to something but you're not getting it, then you know that there's a result of the struggle that you're having. So whatever you're trying to solve, you don't know what to do, but you know there's an end result that you want. Sit in meditation, visualizing, feeling, sensing that end result. And as you sit in it and you feel it, you become more and more at one with it. And believe me, that's one of the best things that you can do, because it's a bit like being an actor, channeling energy. It's like saying, well, suddenly, you know, if I'm this shy person over here, or I can step into being this really confident, you know, person that knows who they are, then I can get what I want, and I know what it feels like to have it. So when you feel like that, it magnetically comes to you. And all of that law of attraction, it works. But you also have to remember, you know, do I believe it can happen, and do I feel I'm worthy of it? The third part of that was that another way you can get an answer, because you'll get an answer when there's no inner conflict, remember, when you're not, you know, when you let go. You just say, okay, I'm surrendering. I'm not being defeated, but I'm letting go of trying to force an answer. So when you create space and time, you let go, there's huge opportunity for you to have a vision drop in, a message come in, a truck driving past with the answer on it. I love it. That happens to me all the time. Or I can be driving somewhere and I just see a sign. You know, I just happen to look up and I go, oh my God, there's the sign. And I just see it and I know it. I know it because it resonates inside when you see it. But one other way you can get an answer is through the dream state. So before you go to bed at night and this may take many, many nights, by the way, because if you're not used to doing this kind of thing, it can really take time to train yourself to receive the answers. But you can put anything into the dream state. So I recommend that you keep a book by your bed and you write down your intention. So it could be, show me what my next career move is. What else do I need to do to get the relationship that I want? What do I need to do to have better health? How can I, get the house that I want? Whatever it is that you're working on, right? You can put that into the dream state. And when you put it into the dream state, you will get a dream eventually. Now, you probably get it on the first night, but you may not be skilled enough to actually, I don't mean skilled enough, that's not the right word. You might not be able to grasp it. Generally speaking, what will happen is you will get woken up after the dream. And it might be 3 o'clock in the morning. It might be, you might have gone to bed at 9 o'clock and you might get the dream at 9:30. So keep the book next to you. And if there is a really vivid dream, even if it doesn't seem like it relates to what you've asked, just write down what you remember and start to learn how to analyze that dream. And just, this is a big topic, but I'll just give you some quick tips on that. And one is, and I'll do other videos on this sort of stuff, but one of them is to remember that most times people that appear in your dream are versions of you, and that whatever is significant in that dream is significant for a reason. And that it's, our dream language is very symbolic. So if you see a dog in a dream, what do dogs represent? And this is where you can really start to tune into your own inner soul language. So this really is a huge topic, but I just wanted to open the conversation, hear what you think. Know that as a spiritual being who is very awake, you can hold a lot of guilt when you think you're not helping people. I believe the biggest thing you can do for yourself is just let that go and know that if you can hold that person or people or situations in an energy of love, that is something you can do, and that sometimes is the best thing you can do, and it will have more ramifications than that person doing what you believe they should do. So I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for all of those of you that are already subscribers. And I just love the building community that we've got here. This channel on YouTube is fairly new and I just love it. So I hope you're enjoying it. And if you've got any things you ever want to talk to me about, you can either email me, it's in the links below, or just put a comment. And, you know, I'm always happy to talk about anything and everything that is relevant to you feeling more at peace within yourself. All right, lots of love. Take care.